That's right, everybody. We are live. No music, no nonsense, straight to sports. Here we are on a Thursday edition of the Prop Stars. We got our producer, Mr. Certified Rob, filling in for TJ momentarily. TJ might make his appearance. Obviously, very busy guy, very hard to lock down on a regular basis. That guy, very vacationy and busy with life stuff. Anyways, we got fantasy, we got real baseball going on. We got fantasy football to talk about. We do have a recap and a preview for this week that we need to go over. And of course, we're going to be talking Survivor. We're going to be talking some player props we like about tonight's game. It's definitely going to be a good week. Rob, how you feeling? How you doing? I know that you're definitely into a little bit of baseball and basketball and some of these other things. What do you think about what's going on with baseball right now?
Even though the Yankees got knocked out, I think the championship series have been fun so far. Don't like seeing the Dodgers win, but it is what it is.
I mean, I don't even see how you say this has been fun. This is awful. All right, so let's break. You want to talk Dodgers first? Let's talk about the Dodgers. They're up 2-0. Okay. The Brewers, they don't have a great pitching staff. Peralta already got lit up. They went out with like unspecified starters, like rolling out bullpens games. Meanwhile, the Dodgers just come in. They roll out Snell, right? He rolls like 8 innings, 1 hit, 10 Ks. They roll out Yamamoto. He throws 3 hits, 9 innings, 7 Ks, whatever. And then you get Glasnow game 3. They already won the first 2 games on the road, right? And then you're coming home. It just doesn't look good for Milwaukee. Obviously, they got bats, but I don't know if they're going to have the pitching. This is what we are so scared of when looking at that Dodgers team, is they just look very formidable from the rotation standpoint. Obviously, the bats are a whole nother story. I think they match up really well against Milwaukee, and it does not look good. The other series, they can't seem to win at home for whatever reason that's going on, right? Toronto hosts the first 2. They lose the first 2 to Seattle, and then they go on the road and they win last night. Kirby got rocked last night. Seattle definitely shit the bed. You had Toronto get right on that game, 13-4. They're in it, and then they throw Scherzer on the mound tonight. Scherzer's like 7-8 in his playoff career. I don't know how great that is. If you're Toronto, he's got like a 3.7 ERA over his playoff career, like 30-something starts. It's a decent body of work there from when he had back in Washington, but never the best pitcher. Nonetheless, here he is in a very pivotal game against Castillo. What do you think about that?
It's really interesting because if you watched the game yesterday, the Mariners came out. They were feeding off the crowd. They got the 2-run homer early from J-Rod.
Right, he just pipes one and get it going.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to run away with it. And then here come the Blue Jays. They put up 13 runs, mashing a bunch of homers. And they had, 7 runs by the 3rd inning? And the game was over.
Yep, and then Kirk kind of put the cherry on top with a 3-run bomb at the end.
I think the Mariners are going to be able to bounce back tonight. I like the pitching matchup that they got with Castillo on the mound. But we'll see.
So you like the Mariners going up 3-1?
I like the Mariners going up 3-1, but the Blue Jays bats are dangerous, and they aren't going to go away.
Yeah, I kind of think that Seattle let them off the hook last night. You had a chance to go up 3-0, obviously commanding lead, totally different narrative in a storyline. You let that go. One of your aces, Kirby, gets rocked. Castillo's been decent this year. He's not unhittable, and the Blue Jays bats have just been so hot. I don't know. I kind of like the Blue Jays in this game getting right, going 2-2. This might be like that old Nationals series a few years ago when they were in the World Series. They just couldn't win a home game. Like these guys, you know how it is. You play loose on the road, and you just have a different mindset, different mentality. You're going to go out there because nobody's expecting you to really win on the road. So I just feel that they probably get this dub. You got anything you want to say about baseball before we start breaking down other things here? I mean, it's just baseball, a couple series. You got any exciting caveats there?
Not much. I think the Dodgers are going to run away with their series against the Brewers. They got way too much firepower in the pitching staff. Their lineup is insane. I'm just hoping we get a fun World Series.
Yeah, you definitely, just from a rating standpoint, Seattle and Blue Jays really aren't pushing any needle. You need the Dodgers in there if you're looking at it a rating standpoint, but nobody wants them. God forbid it feels like Seattle or Toronto and the Brewers. I don't think it's going to happen. That would be one of the poorly rated World Series. I don't know, man. I think the Dodgers got this thing. It's looking more and more. There's only 4 teams left, and the Dodgers look head and shoulders above everybody. Let's be real. All right, man.
Yeah.
So we're on this Thursday edition, but we are recapping our week 6. We did have some injuries in the NFL. Of course, our crux is the NFL. We did lose Njoku this last week with a knee injury. We had Amari Dumarcado. He had an ankle injury. Obviously, nobody was really looking for much, but that does put in a little bit of Bam Knight in your waiver wire priority. It's a good pickup. I know waiver wire moves have already been made, but maybe you got some Bam Knight depending on desperate straits. And then we had Mike Gesicki go down. Mike Gesicki's kind of an important injury just because they do go in tonight. They lost him to a pectoral issue, and that does put their other tight end into play. I think the Bengals have a lot to prove tonight, and we're going to get talking about that with just the potentiality of what that game means against your Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it's going to be a fun game. But going right into the recap, we had an incredible game on Thursday night. It really did set the tone for the whole week of football. You had the Giants host the Eagles on a Thursday night. Cam Scattaboo just went berserk. Jackson Dart looked great. He had a nice throw. And then it was just, he had a nice throw, nice run. And then it was just Cam. And I love all the videos that are just going viral right now about all the players or potential kids that are just like knocking players out. I don't know. They're making a lot of CTE jokes. The guy runs through walls. He's screaming. He's hyped up. I don't know if there's a more player and like a more excited player in the NFL than Cam Scattaboo. And I don't think anybody else likes talking about anybody else more than they like talking about Cam Scattaboo. Like just seeing Dayball's reaction during these interviews. And then you hear the announcers, and then you see other analysis like just about his runs and how passionate that he is. The dude's blocking and then running 20 yards upfield to congratulate you on a run. The dude is absolutely on fire. I feel he's definitely changed the culture of the New York Giants. With just Cam Scattaboo, I feel like the Giants actually have hope. And with Jackson Dart running the helm, I think they're building some belief. And I know as a Cowboys fan, we're not really liking it, just because they look like a team that's going to be very dangerous anytime you play them, especially in a division. But they just look like they're playing with a lot more excitement and heart. And it looks like their organization is standing behind their team. So that's pretty cool from the Giants. But in the midst of all that, they ran over the Eagles. The Eagles run the ball well. The Giants stopped the run. The Eagles tried to run the ball. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. The Giants don't have this impressive secondary, but the Eagles refused to throw. And even whenever they did start to air it out, I thought game script was just a little too telling. Please give me a couple of points about what you saw, the shellacking, the embarrassment, and the downfall of the Philly Eagles. Don't forget that night was also the night that the Phillies fell on a walk-off whenever their pitcher Carey sold them on that. So that night was representation on Thursday, the fall of Philly. Fuck the Eagles, fuck the Phillies. I don't care. I was trying to watch language this week. I got nothing nice to say about them. Go ahead, sir.
That was like you said, man, what a rough night for Phillies fans.
I loved it.
First, you see the Eagles go into MetLife on a Thursday night. That result was absolutely shocking. Not only for them to lose, but they got blown out. And I mean, this Giants team, like you said, bro, they're a lot of fun to watch. I don't like the Giants by any means, but when you got all that young energy with Cam Scattaboo, Jackson Dart, it's really a shame that Malik Neighbors is gone for all of this. But
Yeah, but how excited is Malik Neighbors got to be to get
yeah,
that like work in, to be more motivated instead of coming back? It's a different vibe when you're looking at your shitty Giants team and they're just kind of meddling, barely wins, or barely finding wins. And instead, you get this whole vibe where you get Jackson Dart and Cam Scottaboo. Like, you want to get your rest, you want to get your rehab, you want to be sleeping in that hyperbolic chamber, and you want to be doing anything you can to get that knee right. Because next year when you come back, you're gonna ball, right?
definitely, bro. And yeah, they're just a lot of fun to watch, honestly. The defense has been there. The offense took a little bit, but with Jackson Dart getting inserted into the lineup, they've been able to find a little juice. And he's really getting it done. Even without Neighbors, he's getting it done with his other receivers. Their run
Wandell
game has been
Robinson,
there.
baby.
The offensive line has been impressive. And Jackson Dart, he just makes plays, man. Whether it's with his legs or with his arm, he makes plays.
You know how sometimes you can look at a player and you're like, oh, they're very gifted at these particular attributes. And then sometimes you just look at a player and you're like, oh, that's a ball player. He's just all around making good decisions and he's athletic. He can play ball. Jackson Dart is a ball player, dude. The guy is certified. So of course, I know TJ would have a lot to say about their front seven and how they embarrassed the Eagles running game. And I absolutely agree with that. And I think that they're starting to find something. Good job, TJ. I know you're finishing up a little bit of business. We'll get you on here in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and talk about, we did have a London game as well over the weekend. The Jets, as bad as they looked, and in the first half, like Justin Fields had like 6 yards, like I think passing nothing at all. They were being left for dead. I think Gene's officially, that's right, everybody. Gene, one of our executive producers, is officially a Bucs fan now because the Jets are just so putrid. He literally renounced them. He's given up all his allegiances and ties. He took his fat heads off of the ceiling. He's now got a Baker Mayfield fat head on order, and he's talking about getting something to do with like Buck shower curtains. But it's very bad. The Jets are not good, and they still had a chance to win the game, is what my point is. As bad as much shit I want to talk about them, they almost beat the Broncos. And the Broncos were just kind of, I don't know. The Broncos were just matriculating up the field. They weren't really making a lot of moves. They seemed to be a little bit stagnant on their offense. I know things happen when you're in London, but it was no excuse to sit there and to really kind of lay an egg. The Broncos didn't look great in this game. I thought it was more about the Jets just can't do anything, is all that it was. They put up 13 points. It was an awful game. It was the least exciting London game so far. Do you have any notes about this game you want to talk about?
The Jets are embarrassing.
They're
They
awful.
just find new ways to lose football games. For the first 5 weeks of the season, they put up points. The offense looked good. They couldn't get any stops.
Brees Hall
Now
had
the
22
defense,
carries on 59 yards, right? I mean, Garrett Wilson, obviously in and out. He's got a little injury thing. Only 13 yards on 3 catches. And then here we are. We're talking about a Justin Fields. He was 45 yards, 9 of 17.
9 for 17, 45
And
yards.
don't get me wrong, the Broncos defense is supposed to be good. Are they that good? Or is Justin Fields that bad?
Justin Fields had time to throw the football. That's the problem. He has time to throw the football. He just doesn't throw the
Why
football.
wasn't he scrambling? Why was Justin Fields not using these gaps? And why was, I don't know if you watched the Uninformed Fan, one of our friends' networks, and our buddy Tyson, Business Time Thomas, was talking. Justin Fields is in the pocket, like you said, had plenty of time. And they're like, just stay right there. Don't go run and use your God-given ability and your legs, and you can run a 4.5 or a 4.4, 4.3, whatever it is, one of the fastest quarterbacks. No. Stand in the pocket and get blitzed. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we know the Broncos have a propensity to blitz. We've seen them blitz quite often in this first, 6 games, and I feel like the Jets actually could have been okay against the blitz if they would have just ran a little bit with Justin Fields. Either way, we don't spend a lot of time talking about the Jets. Gene, if you want to talk about them, you can write them a letter or something. Of course, we'll just talk about my team here. It was very disappointing, and I want to talk about it. Cowboys lose to the Panthers. It was it was a game that was actually exciting. Everybody kind of knew that Carolina was going to be able to move the ball because Eberflus is an absolute dog shit coach when it comes to defense. He's a cancer, and the Cowboys need chemo. We got to get rid of him. We got to do something. I'm sorry. We roll up in to Carolina. We run the ball okay, and Carolina's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. They're definitely better on the road or at home than they are on the road. Um, and so I knew they were going to be up for this game. I didn't think we were going to necessarily blow them out, but I thought we definitely had a chance to win handily. And every time that we were up, we let Carolina back in the game. I know that Tet definitely arrived to Tetaroa McMillan, had a great game. This storyline was definitely more about the revenge of Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard being hurt again. Rico Dowdle breaks Christian McCaffrey's all scrimmage record for 2 games that obviously he was there in Carolina for a while. He put up over like 400 and something yards back-to-back games, or in 2 games, back-to-back 200-yard games. And we allowed 180 rushing, another 50 receiving. He had a nice touchdown that was very big for them to kind of go down and finish his comeback. Rico Dowdle played like a man on fire. And why we traded him, I'm not sure. Why we thought Rico Dowdle was not the answer, and we had to have Miles Sanders. Why? This is the problem with Cowboys front office and management. We either don't have the eye for it, or we let them go too early, or we feel that we don't want to pay the people in the right who deserve to be paid in the right context. Rico Dowdle has juice in the tank. Rico Dowdle ran over the Cowboys.
Definitely.
And then it's so bad. Like, it should have been just a bonus storyline. There's like 6 minutes left. We miss George Pickens in the end zone to go up big, whatever. And instead we cover a field goal. We have to settle for a field goal. We give them the ball back with 6 minutes, Rob. And they just run the clock all the way down. 6 minutes. You're like, we're going to get a stop. 6 minutes. We're getting the ball back. There's no way that we're going to allow them to do this. There was even, I believe, if I saw correctly, doth my eyes deceive me, we had them stopped. They were punting the ball, and we committed a penalty to give them a fresh set of downs. Like, the game was over. And like, we're playing at a point, we're now 2-3-1. Okay. Had the tie against the Packers, obviously. Couple of tough losses. But we also had a couple of okay wins. I don't know. We definitely should not have lost that game to the Bears. And losing this game to the Panthers, I feel like when you're looking at our season and we're 1 game out of the playoffs, because TG and I talked about it last week. We named like 17 or 18 teams that could potentially be into the second round, right? And I'm not saying we're out of it, but this is a very worrisome trend when you can't stop when you need to stop a team. Like, I'm not saying we got to go and be this like all elite defense, but you got to be able to make a crucial stop. And you can't have these penalties shooting yourself in the foot whenever you do make the stop. And then that costs you the game against the lowly Panthers. The Panthers, I think, even their record to a 3-3 now. So good for them. They're in that division. They're fighting. And Tampa, of course, they get to go this next week at Detroit. So they have a chance to kind of make up some ground there, with Tampa being heavily injured and probably be a dog in that game. But yeah, man, just not a good look for the Cowboys. Our defense is bad. Our offense looks great. We're the number 2 offense in the league, Rob. We're putting up points. We're scoring. We didn't even have CeeDee Lamb, and we were walking up and down the field. Pickens went hard, bro. Thank you for your donation to George Pickens. I finally got you on the show. Can't sit there and he not only gets open, he runs away from defenders. The guy high points balls, bullies people for the catch, and then like jumps over you like a gazelle. I know you saw that jump. He had a
Yeah, I did.
nasty catch over the middle. Boom. Catches it, takes it right from him. And then as he's running up the left sideline, dude gets low and he kind of side skips him and goes vertical, jumps him. Later on, he did try to jump somebody else and got stuck. Didn't work. But he was feeling himself. Pickens doing Pickens things. He's like a top 3 receiver right now in the league. George Pickens balling, dude.
Yeah, he's putting up crazy numbers.
Obviously, no CD, so you
And
know
it's
it's going to be
crazy
there,
'cause
right?
the Steelers need a wide receiver too, and here we have George Pickens going insane over in Dallas, putting up 168-yard games.
Yeah, but he's scoring at an alarming rate, and obviously, I love this. People are like, "Oh, it might slow it down whenever Dak, gets CD back." I don't think so. I think this is only going to make our offense more potent, and it's the only hope that I really have for the Cowboys is the fact that we have such a potent offense that we will. I don't think we need to play perfect at offense to win a game, but I think we're going to boat race a few teams, and I think you're going to have to keep up with us because I think we're going to be able to score against elite defenses. That's what I really think. So, anyways, enough about that. All right, let's go through some games. Okay, you have the Chargers at the Dolphins. Chargers wanted to lose that game. Dolphins wanted to win that game. A-Chain looks great. The real storyline that everyone was talking about, and I did call for Mike McDaniel's head after this game, and it did not happen. I think it happens this week. Mike McDaniels, you're out of here.
I think this is
This
the
was a
week.
game that was very winnable by Miami, and they chose to not. And I think this is also a game after the press conference. Tua Tagovailoa was just out there throwing everybody under the bus, talking about people missing meetings and talking about people showing up late. And like the locker room is definitely in shambles. Ed has been lost. That's one on the shambles counter. We don't really use that word here on Prop Stars too much, but whenever it's appropriate, it's appropriate. Shambles is a fun word to use. Uninformed fan uses it a lot. They are complete disarray. The Dolphins are done. You know what I mean? And Mike McDaniels looks sad. He looks disappointed. He's about to lose his job. I mean, maybe he gets another head coaching gig, but I think this is such a bad breakup that it won't be for a few years. And he'll have to get with a team that's going to be great on offense, that he'll be accredited for being a guru. I don't know. It just doesn't look great, man. It doesn't look great.
Mike McDaniels can come be the Steelers' offensive coordinator. We'll take him.
You'll take him?
Yeah. OC.
All right. I mean, honestly, I think that'd be great. I don't know how Tomlin would feel about him hitting the vape pen and wearing sunglasses and chilling. And he's got this whole Miami Vice vibe. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it was dope for like 2 years. And then now everybody's just sick of it. Like, no matter what, football is a game where men have to be men, period. You know what I mean? And like, there has to be a moment where in that locker room, you just say enough's enough and you command respect and you command greatness and you command a winning culture and mentality. And I don't think that he's done anything other than command another cart from his local dispensary. You know what I mean? Like, that's all. We'll move on. We got Patriots at the Saints. Drake May showing he's that dude. He's coming out. He's balling. Keyshawn Booty had a couple tutties. Obviously, Travion Henderson still kind of mired in a backfield with Ramondre. Vrabel's offense getting right. But really, they're trusting Drake May in this offense, and he's making great choices. The Saints are still kind of Taysom Hill sighting. You saw Olave's getting targets. Kamara's just cooked. They're not using him there. He just can't run on a line. They're not throwing him enough. I don't know, man. The Saints are just obviously one of the worst teams in the league. The Patriots are definitely doing their thing. I think the Patriots even get the Titans, I think, when we look in the preview. So they're rolling right now. You got anything to say about that game?
Patriots are looking good, man. Drake May looks good. Patriots are 4-2. They're actually in first place right now in the AFC East via the tiebreaker. And they're just
that was a big game against Buffalo last week, man. It was huge.
Right. Yeah, that was huge. And now they just get to beat up on an easy schedule, stack some wins. They're going to be in the playoffs for sure.
Bro, one of their easiest schedules in the NFL.
They probably have the easiest schedule in the league.
Right. And I will say this, though. I am curious to see how they take some of this adversity against some of the better teams because they have kind of like missed the mark early against a few teams, but they kind of grew up a little bit right in front of our eyes against Buffalo. And as long as they continue to handle business where they're supposed to, like, i.e., the Saints and the Titans, then they should have a very legitimate shot of being a contender going forward. And everybody knows, man, when you're playing in the winter, don't let them get a home game and let Foxborough become a thing again. You know what I mean? Like, because it's cold and snowy. There are teams that just don't play good in those kind of environments. So we'll keep it moving. All right. Yeah, the Rams at the Ravens. The Ravens are dying. Hey, what's up there? Killing it. Thank you, Tony.
What's up,
Dustino, what's
20?
up, man? Trying to give you a recap. I know, follow Dustino. He's on the Pop Sports Network. Always giving great picks. He's definitely putting some good information out there. I think they were 4-2 in their 6-pack, and I'll put out a little 3-pack today as well. But we appreciate you, fellas. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in, and make sure you get us out there. We're always on Tuesdays and Thursdays, mainly talking NFL. But we do have the Rams at the Ravens. The Rams just roll. You know what I mean? Any storyline that you want to talk about this? I'll let you kind of take the head before I just kind of put it up. Obviously, they missed Lamar.
The Ravens are just cooked right now until they get healthy. Luckily for them, they're going into the bye week right now. Their defense is just decimated with injuries. And then on top of that, you have Lamar. We already knew that the Ravens couldn't win without Lamar. We have years of evidence that they can't win without Lamar. But even if he comes back, if this defense is this banged up, they're just not going to win games. They can't stop anyone.
So do you think it's a thing that, all right, you're saying that they can't win without Lamar, but everybody knows that the Ravens were so smart, or at least they look so smart whenever they are running this offense around Lamar. But whenever Lamar would go out, they could have a quarterback who could just step right in, like an RG3, right? We saw that in the past. So they go out and they sign Cooper Rush to be your backup. And we're still looking. That's why we're talking about it, right? It doesn't make sense. But yet you put Tyler Huntley in there, and he immediately starts to click. He goes 10 for 15, 68 yards. Like Cooper Rush was 11 for 19, 72 yards. It wasn't a lot of difference. And I feel like Huntley just seems like more of a fit with what they're trying to do. I don't know if they were just – I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what the Ravens are doing right now. I know Sean Munson watches the show. Sean, it's not good. Y'all are screwed. Everyone's saying that they can make a late run. They're going to have to like literally win 6, 7 in a row to make a late run. And like you said, that defense is so bad. I don't know if they're going to be able to get right. But what I do know is the offense is dangerous with Lamar behind there. And maybe if they get a couple of key pieces back, maybe they can do something. But I know they lost Matabike for the rest of the year with this neck thing. I think it's the rest of the year. I just don't see him getting healthy, man. But anyways, moving on. That's just another easy win. We knew that the Rams were definitely taking out the Ravens. The
I
Cardinals
still think the
winning.
Ravens are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, bro, I have the Ravens going deep. So I'm kind of hoping just for like no egg on the face that they make some sort of run and make it interesting because they have the offense there. But like Lamar's got to come back and play at a different level. Like Lamar's got to run for 1,000 and throw for 3,500, and he's only got a few games to do it. You know what I mean? Like legit. Cardinals, after one of the most excruciating losses in NFL history, they end up blowing it again. A very winnable game against the Colts. The Colts were right there. Or I'm sorry, the Cardinals were right there against the Colts. This was, another Jonathan Taylor, Danny Dimes. I was telling you about Bam Knight. He's definitely a thing over there in Arizona, and Amari DeMarcado's out again. So he's definitely going to have some work. Whenever you look at this box score right here, Jacoby Brissett is a real NFL quarterback, and Kyler Murray is a fraud, is why I wanted to just bring this game up. He's a fraud. Kyler Murray is, hold on, where's the camera? He's this tall, okay? He's only this tall. And yes, he's got speed. And yes, he has an elite arm. I just think he would have been better served staying in the major league in the bigs in baseball. You know what I mean? Like I think it's just better for him than him being out here where you can't see over your offensive line and you're always scrambling and you're always running. And then by the time that you're running on the opposite way, you can't read the left side of your field and everybody just kind of shades you and you don't have the vision. You don't have the gift of decision making and you love double experience XP on Call of Duty. Like you care for video games more than you do the NFL. This is not a good look. And Brissett comes out and just dimes out and balls and makes your organization look like you have some answers or some questions that you need to have answers for. It did not look good. Brissett looked great. The Colts, Daniel Jones doing his thing. He's not just being a game manager. When you got Jonathan Taylor, you feed the man the rock, 123 yards. Tyler Warren's a beast. Michael Pittman didn't do much this game. Didn't need to. Just another game for the Colts to move on. And the Cardinals, God, it's tough to really bet them in places because they're just dangerous enough with enough weapons. But they did lose Marvin Harrison Jr. this game. So that will be curious to see in concussion protocol. All right, moving through.
Cardinals.
The Seahawks at the Jags. Jags looked outmatched. What'd you think about this game?
That's probably about what I expected to happen. I just think the Seahawks are a better team than the Jags, despite the Jags record so far. But they just
you saw Darnold and JSN connect on that bomb.
Yeah, that was huge. JSN has been having a great season. He had another big game, and the Seahawks
number one wide receiver, I think, in the league right now,
locking down the Jags. Jags just couldn't get any offense going.
They could not get any offense going. What do you see for the Jags going forward? How are they going to right this?
Well, they got the Rams coming up this week in the London game.
At London, right?
So I think that's going to be another loss. Then they get the bye week. And then they come out, they got some tough games. Well, they don't really have any tough games, actually. Their schedule's
kind of decent, right?
Yeah, their schedule is looking pretty light down the stretch. So I think they can get a wild card spot. They're not winning the division, though.
I think the Seahawks are definitely the talk of this game. And the way that they walked into a Jaguars team that just beat the Chiefs, riding that high, you knew it was kind of a trap or a letdown game. But it was that whole West Coast, East Coast thing that we talk about and the whole travel lag. And I thought maybe that's the only reason why this was a one-possession game, because I thought the Seahawks were going to go in there and definitely dominate. You have the Titans lose to the Raiders. This was a very popular Survivor pick. I think this is a great time to go ahead and jump about Survivor because I know we get some Johnny Trembada's listeners. In the Survivor pick, we had 34 people pick the Packers this last week. 18 people picked the Raiders. Okay. And then it was 15 with the Steelers. I am on record. I made it through with the Packers and the Steelers. In our big Survivor pool, this was the last week for buyback. So now it's single game elimination. We've had a lot of people eliminated already. We had 5 people take the Eagles, and we had 1 Commanders, 1 Cowboys. They all got eliminated. So that's phenomenal. Moving on to this next week and Survivor, we'll definitely be talking some picks, but there weren't too crazy upsets. I thought the Raiders was an easy pick. The Steelers have had history knocking me out, so I was a little bit nervous on taking them. But off of the bye, we knew you guys had it. And that game was just awful. You guys just absolutely boat raced them. And isn't it crazy? Like, in that game, let's just talk about the Survivor, leeway. You had a game script where it should have been a heavy Quinshon Judkins game. And instead, they let Dylan Gabriel just go throw it like 50 times.
For 220 yards. Less than 5 yards.
Why you think that's the answer to beat the Steelers? I'm not sure when you have the most talented players in your backfield. But needless to say, I thought it was awesome and lined up great against what I needed to in the Survivor moves on. But yeah, so there's a little Survivor talk. Obviously, we got some picks that we want to take this next week, and we'll talk about some of those matchups as well. And it looks like we might get a cameo from TJ. He's chirping around. So we'll move on from there. Other than that, it was like I think Genty had a little bit. Titans are just trash, dude. Continue to just fade the Titans with whatever they're doing. Not a great team. Obviously, there's going to be some picks where you'll be able to continue to pick against them. This was a hell of a game. You had the Tampa Bay Bucks knock out the Niners. That was obviously a game that everybody was looking forward to. Seeing how Tampa was going to handle it. Tampa loses Amika Egbuka in this game, so that's a crucial injury. That's not good. I know that Mike Evans is out, Godwin's out, Bucky's out. They got Rashad White, who played decent. Looks like you're going to get Tez. You'll have some Tez Johnson, some Sterling Shepard, some Cade Otton. I think those are going to be some interesting player props, and we might even see some of those come across a little more Sterling Shepard and those lead pipe locks. I'm just predicting, a little bit of savor here of what TJ is going to like. But I think those are some interesting plays just because those are guys that are vaulted into a game where the Lions they should be up. And it should be an offensively predicated game. And I believe in it. Baker, I trust. Just like all of Tampa. That dude is having an MVP year right now. He's making a statement and he's making a case. And can you just hear the storyline? If they go in and beat Detroit with nobody on their team, I mean, there's a chance. They could still do it. Detroit doesn't look that great, right?
Yeah. I mean, if
Jahmyr Gibbs is kind of missing in action, right? And Tampa's been kind of hemming up the run. I'm a little worried about Amon-Ra, and I know that JMO can hit some deep shots, and it's about what they're going to scheme up for Goff against them. But this game is in Detroit, right? So that's definitely going to be something that I'm a little bit worried about for that preview. But I'm telling you, Tampa just looks so good. The way they came out and handled the Niners, I thought was indicative of how well that they're just playing as a unit. Like, I don't think it matters who Tampa has. They just have the belief that they're better than you, and they're going to go out there 11 on 11. They're just going to show you. And, like, Baker's going to sit there in a crucial situation and drop a dime. Rashad White is definitely doing his thing, moving the ball. I think it's all right, man. I thought this game was San Fran's to win. Like, San Francisco should have won that game in their minds, obviously, and they just couldn't get it done. What do you think?
TJ, what's up, bro?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, man, audio's good. We were just finishing breaking down the Niners Bucks game from last week.
No, I've been listening. You guys are put on a great show. Hey, let's go back to, you guys have been breaking down the games, right? We won't go back in detail, but let's talk about in broad what the NFL is right now, right? There's literally 15 plus teams that can go win a Super Bowl right now, right? I think that the NFL, these teams, it's going to be a fire sale when it comes to the trade deadline. And there's going to be teams like the Colts, like maybe even the Cowboys, the Command. I can go on and rip off all these teams that are going to be like, hey, we never thought we could win a Super Bowl this year. Now, let's go get that final piece and let's go steal a ring. We haven't seen the NFL like this in decades. Do you guys agree?
Absolutely. I think the parity's through the roof. I think it's really any given Sunday. Even as this season takes shape and form, there's a lot more teams, even teams people were putting the Panthers on ice, and they come back and they're 3-3. And then the Falcons just come out and just absolutely whoop the Bills. They're still fighting. There's a lot of teams that it looks like on any given Sunday that they can come out and put it together and create a crucial win and maybe put some momentum together. I think you're absolutely right, TJ. What do you think, Rob?
Oh yeah, there's so much parity in the league right now. There's probably like 10 different teams that you could see making the Super Bowl. It's insane.
Yeah, and we look at the Bucks, right? The power rankings. Everyone has the Bucks as the number one team right now in the NFC, and for how hobbled they are. I will say this: the Lions are going to blow them out if the Bucks don't get a little healthier. I mean, they beat up on a Niners team that
That's also
was,
depleted.
yeah, depleted. And it's a shame to see because you see how disciplined and well coached both of these teams are. But the Lions going into Kansas City, Mahomes and Andy Reid just losing a Monday night game. That game was in Kansas. That game was going to be impossible to win, right? So we weren't, stating the obvious when we thought that game was going to be a win for the Chiefs. But now Detroit is going back into Detroit, right? And it isn't Detroit, right? I'm pretty sure it isn't.
Yeah,
Detroit.
yeah. It's Detroit.
Jameer, Detroit.
Monday night.
I know Dan
Monday
Campbell
night.
is saying we didn't get Jameer Gibbs involved. I know Dan Campbell's saying we're going to get Gibbs involved. I mean, the Lions are pretty healthy. I mean, at least on the offensive end, right? Defense, I don't know exactly, but the Bucks, and if the Bucks lose this game, even if the Bucks get blown out, it's not a bad loss if they don't get their pieces back. I have a feeling Godwin's going to be back, but I think Mike Evans is still a week or two.
They said
away.
Godwin is doubtful. Godwin is
He's
doubtful.
dude.
Evans
There's
may
no
be-
Godwin, no Egbuka, no Evans, no Bucky. It's going to be on Tez Johnston, Sterling Shepard, Rashad White, K. Dot.
It's going to get ugly for the Bucks, unfortunately, but that's not
The line
a
on
shot.
that? I was just looking. The line on that, their Lions are given 5.5. The over-under's 52.5, and Tampa's plus 200.
Yeah, it was 4.5, and now it's 5.5. It's going to be 6.5, 7.5 by game time. Everyone's going to be pounding the Lions, and also the way the Lions run that offense, they could be running up the clock and score touchdowns. And even though Baker's been great, he isn't one of those guys. I'm not ready to put him on that like Mahomes pedestal where he could just put the whole team on his back for the whole season. See what I'm trying to say? Like
Sure.
Baker's good enough. He's good enough right now to win a Super Bowl, I think. But he isn't, you have to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time to go into Detroit and to win the way Detroit just lost to the Chiefs. I mean, Detroit is going to be firing on all cylinders. And I think Detroit's only lost 2 games this year, and one was to a hot Green Bay team at game 1. Not hot time, but Green Bay was really good playing that game, and then they lost to
The Chiefs.
the Chiefs on Monday Night Football in Kansas City. After Kansas City somewhat got robbed, you could say, of winning a Monday Night Football game, right?
Right.
So
No, I completely agree. I think going, I guess, from that game, it doesn't really matter if Tampa loses that game, but it matters if Detroit wins that game. You know what I mean? Like that's
for
like
sure.
Detroit has to win that game.
Yeah,
Tampa's already looking
Definitely.
at 5-2, saying, "Okay, we just need to continue to put wins while we're mending."
You're
Bucks
exactly
are
right,
playing
Buff.
with house money there, man.
You're exactly right. Both of you guys. I mean, it's one of those things where the Bucks if the Bucks can lose that game, and even if they get embarrassed, I don't even think it matters. Because I think they are going to get embarrassed. We're saying that right now as a lead pipe block. Not like they've been hot lately, but I'm known to go on hot streaks and cold streaks. We'll start the hot streak again. We're 11-10 in the lead pipes, whatever. But Bucks don't stand a chance in that game.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm
they
finishing
could
down the
lose by
breakdowns
3
because we're going right into the
touchdowns,
previews. And
it's not going to mean
what were you
anything.
saying, Rob? Go ahead.
Said they could lose by 3 touchdowns, and in the big picture, it's not going to mean anything.
It
No, yeah,
won't
it
matter.
doesn't
I can see them losing by 3 touchdowns, and then see them beating the Lions in the playoffs too. Now it's unfortunate that this game might decide something, right? I have a
Yeah, for
feeling
home
we might
field,
look
yeah.
back. Yeah, and even if it's a playoff game, if it has to go head to head on a tiebreaker, where it's at, obviously we know it's going to matter. But even saying that, I think Tampa could win in Detroit in the playoffs if they have Mike Edwards, if they have Godwin, if they have Egbuka, yada yada.
Well, even if that, I still look at the remaining schedule and I still favor Tampa in their division over what they have to do as the Lions playing the Vikings, the Packers. You know what I mean? And the Bears, because the Bears even look good. I think Tampa just has an easier division. Whenever it comes down to that, I still favor Tampa to have a better win-loss record. 100%.
Yes, yeah.
So we're almost done with the breakdown. We're going right into the preview, and we'll have you talk about some picks that you like in Survivor. Of course, you did have the Bengals pushed it against the Packers. They definitely tried. He started out Joe Flacco. He gets in there, gets the ball to some T. Higgins, gets the ball to some Jamar Chase. Obviously showing that they're not dead. And the Packers had that game won the entire time. It got a little close. It did come down to Jordan Love making a very crucial third down throw. But kind of crazy how the NFL works. It didn't look like they were going to stand a chance, and the Packers were just about to break through, or almost let the Bengals break through a couple different times. Anything about the Packers Bengals that you wanted to talk about as a bright spot for either team? Because I do have a fun little storyline for their next game in the Bengals.
Yeah, I think this is like what the NFL is all about, right? We just saw Denver smoke the Bengals, right? I know it's different quarterback, but same idea. And then Denver has to get lucky and squeak by to beat the Jets in London, right? And then the Bengals barely lose to them. I think when it all said and done is, a Packers team. It's one of the best teams in the NFC, and they have a stout defense and they're a good team. I
They're a
just
good
can't
team.
believe I can't believe the Bengals kept that close, and it was a lot of points. You just don't want to give those kind of points in the NFL, but I'm surprised the Bengals kept it that close.
100%. Yeah, the Lions at the Chiefs, we just talked about it. Obviously, outdoors, it was still a really close game. Chiefs held them off. Mahomes does Mahomes thing. They get Rashee Rice back. The whole thing with the Chiefs is that they were just kind of like staying afloat. Like Xavier was out of game, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, 6-game suspension. Their running game hasn't popped yet. Pacheco had an okay game. He's starting to show a little bit of life, but there's obviously a running back mired backfield when it comes to split carries. The Chiefs just handle business. The Lions playing out like, I don't know. If I'm Jared Goff, like I just make sure no matter what, I just become better and better at throwing deep balls outdoors and just like in the wind and just making sure that that's not such a glaring weakness of my game. Because there was definitely a couple throws that were wide open that he just missed. And I think that it's because everybody says, man, he's just outside. You had the Monday night games, the Bills get embarrassed by the Falcons. And then you had a crazy game between the Bears and the Commanders, right? We'll talk about the Bills and Falcons first. Falcons controlled that game from jump. Bijan did Bijan things, and Josh Allen just couldn't quite get it going. Rob?
Bijan was incredible. Bijan was incredible. He put up how many yards? I think he had
You want to leave
170
the box
just on the
score?
ground.
The box score is just crazy, dude. Bijan Robinson, and this is why this is going to lead us to one of our next topics, bro, that I wanted to talk to you about.
Man.
You had Bijan Robinson with 6 catches, 68 yards, okay? And then he had 19 carries for 170 yards. Bijan Robinson still
yards.
had like a lower PFF ranking than it was some other random running back, but
Kenneth
it's just
Walker.
like, yeah, then Kenneth Walker. There you go. Kenneth Walker. And like, I don't necessarily understand the way it works, but it's been a hot topic all week long in the sports world.
Yeah, this has been pissing off Rob and a lot of people. Talk about that game really quick though. I'm on vacation, so I can't post a lot of the lead pipe blocks. But those are dream situations. You have Bills coming off a tough game, and a Sunday night game. You have the Falcons home coming off a bye
Bills
week.
on the road.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, so Bills were on the road going into Atlanta. Atlanta's coming off a bye week. Atlanta is loaded with talent when it comes to backup running backs. Pitts looks great. Drake London. And it was just one of those
Mooney
dreams.
back, yada yada.
Yeah, it was one of those dream situations for bettors where you have the amateur bettors that fall in love with Josh Allen and just Josh Allen can do no wrong. And Bills are slipping a little bit. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But then you have Atlanta, coming off a bye at home, prime time. Falcon fan base going crazy. It was just one of those games that it would have been shocked if Atlanta. Now, I didn't see Atlanta like really running away with it like they did, but Atlanta dominated that game from start to finish.
Absolutely, man. That's one of those lines that we look forward to seeing you spot in the future. And then, of course, you have the Bears and Commanders. This game lived up to the hype. It ended with the Hail Mary last year. And then this year, the game comes down to the very last moment again. You had a decent showing by both quarterbacks. Caleb threw a tutty, 250. Swift was balling for Chicago. Swift looked incredible, and he was actually doing his thing. He had a couple of catches for 67 yards, plus 14 carries for 108 yards. On the other side, Jaden Daniels, they really needed this game. The Commanders they've been injured, they haven't been healthy. Jaden did okay. Krosky Merritt had a okay game, 1761. It's just the lack of weapons is what Jaden Daniels is struggling with. Debo couldn't really find his footing. Ertz was 6 catches for 43 yards. It's kind of crazy how these two teams really are evenly matched 2 years in a row, and like the way
Yep.
the X's and O's line up, they play great games. Both games were very entertaining. It didn't feel like one team was going to like go over the other. And to end on a last second play again and a field goal, and I thought it was even going to be blocked or whatever. I mean, good for the Bears to go in and steal that game. Obviously, I was pulling for the Bears. I need the Commanders to lose because the Cowboys play the Commanders this week. We need, to kind of keep pace in our division per se. So that was huge for us. But yeah, man, I thought the Commanders definitely let one off. They could have beat a Bears team that's probably a little bit healthier than them, and they didn't. So that's bad on them.
Yeah, they had that game, and then they fumbled it away.
Yeah.
Literally fumbled it away.
That fumble was it? That's definitely on Reed, not or on Daniels. I'm sorry, not on Krosky Merritt, on Bill, right?
Oh, definitely on
It looked
Jaden
like it was-
Daniels, and this is what I'm talking about on coaching and mentoring your players. And that is a play where when you're in the headset, you're like, Jaden Daniels, don't get fancy, don't fumble the ball, right? That is the reminders as a coach you need to give to your players. That fumble was inexcusable. Now, it's easy for me to sit on the couch, oh, you don't know. That fumble was inexcusable. It's a non-contact fumble. To lose the game and to maybe give away the season on a non-contact fumble, that cannot happen. That was a fancy play call on a read option where Jaden Daniels is trying to read the defensive end and the outside linebacker instead of just there's no timeouts. Like that game is over. It cost people in Survivor Pool, not me, but
Right.
it cost the Commanders the game. I mean, it's crazy to think that teams get cute with play calling. Now, Commanders did need to get a first down, so the game wasn't over. It was one first down away from just kneeling the ball. And it's just one of those things where it's real just inexcusable to have a non-contact fumble. And it's definitely on Jaden Daniels. He was fumbling the ball as he was giving the ball to
I think this is only going to build towards the history and lore of this series as we see it unfold in the future between Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, who will forever be tied together, And now they're each 1-1, and there's each kind of a crazy finish to each game. So, yep, chalk one up for the Bears. They bear down. They get lucky. It's always better to be lucky than good in the NFL. We know that. All right, so with that being said, we do have a new week of slate, a whole new week, a whole new slate, and we do start off Steelers at the Bengals. Now, this is obviously our buddy Dustino. He was already all over these picks, and he was liking it. I really do like a few things out of this game. Obviously, being the prop stars, we like to talk props. I do like Jamar Chase anytime touchdown at plus money, at plus 125. I think that the Steelers, you guys are on the road.
Yeah.
You haven't played any great teams. I think the Bengals are definitely a little bit pissed off. And here's what's kind of weird. If the Bengals somehow win this game, They're 3-4, and you're 4-2 as the Steelers. And that is a very big switch when it comes to divisional matchups. And then the Bengals are literally right in there with a very winnable game against, I think, the Jets next week. So, like, if they win this game, the Bengals are like, they're not counting their chickens, but they're like, we could be 4-4 if we win this game. You know what I mean? And beat the Steelers. So I know the Bengals are going to be up. I definitely love Jamar Chase plus money, anytime touchdown. I like T. Higgins also on this plus money, 4.5 catches. I think that Flacco's definitely getting him the ball. There's no Burrow. And I think you're going to see more and more of him trying to keep his top guys involved. And then on the other side, Metcalf, his over on receptions also plus money at 4.5. I kind of like the 3-pack of plays. All plus money is what I'm looking for there. And I think they all have a legitimate chance. I don't think this game is going to be as ugly as people think. I think the Bengals got a swinging chance for sure. I like the Bengals tonight.
This one got me a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. The Bengals.
You should be.
This is not going to be an easy game. I know we have a huge opportunity here to go to 5-1. I mean, if we win tonight, the division is,
and to bury the Bengals, right?
Yeah, we can bury the Bengals. We would be 4 games ahead of the Ravens with only 12 games to play. But it's a Thursday night game in the division. Bengals got the veteran quarterback with Joe Flacco. They got weapons on offense. And the Steelers are just not good in Thursday night divisional games. They haven't been in a long time. This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I would be surprised if the Steelers give this one away. But I don't think it's going to be. Buff, what'd you say the spread was again? I'm sorry, guys. I'm like driving. I just got back in town.
We know, dude. It's all good. I
Vacation.
think ESPN has it at 4.5 is what ESPN has it at. And then let me look at Hard Rock. I know that Dustina was all over these plays. I just started picking player props out of it.
I'm seeing Steelers minus 5.5.
Yeah, Steelers are 5. Hard Rock's giving them 5 right now, actually. Bengals plus 5 on Hard Rock.
Obviously, this is in Cincinnati then, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's in Cincinnati, bro. And I don't know if you heard my plus money plays.
If it was in Pittsburgh, it'd be 10.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, rip them off again. Yeah, I heard Jamar Chase. What were the other ones?
T. Higgins over on receptions 4.5 at plus 120, and then Metcalf also over receptions 4.5 at plus 100. I like all 3 of those plays. I think you're going to see Flacco definitely feeding the ball to Higgins and Chase, and I think Metcalf is definitely proven he's the number one. They still have Metcalf, and nobody's going to be Metcalf. Definitely like 7-8 catches. I think that's an easy one.
Trey Hendrickson might be out tonight.
Yeah, I heard Trey Hendrickson is out.
Wow. I heard that too. That's a dagger. Obviously Vegas has it close, and like you said, Buff, this could really swing. If Pittsburgh wins, Pittsburgh knows if they win this game. Let's be real. The Ravens last week were still the favorites to win the division. So I think what the Steelers are thinking, and what Omar Khan is thinking, is let's get the 5-1, right? Then let's go get Olave, or let's go get Jalen Waddle, right? And those are the 2 hot names that are being floated around from a loyal listener of mine that is literally has his finger on the pulse almost more than I do. Almost, not as much, but almost. And this is.
All right, so we lost him a little bit. We know he's in and out. We'll wait for him to catch back up. But it's obviously a huge game, and the Steelers, they got to play up, man. It's you need the best of Aaron Rodgers here. All right, so let's go through a couple. We talked about we got another London game, Rams at the Jags. I like the Rams. I like Stafford. I like Kyron. I like them going and dominating F the Jags. I don't care if it's in London. Jags haven't looked scary whatsoever to make me think anything twice about this game. You agree?
Yeah, Rams, they got Jaguars plus 3. I think the Rams win by at least a touchdown.
Oh, 100%. I could definitely see that cover. We have a very popular survivor pick. Patriots at the Titans. Love the Pats in this game. They're on the road. Titans are going to have to prove something. Obviously, there's still some Tajay Spears, and they're not quite healthy there. They're still trying to figure out how to get the ball to their receivers. Calvin Ridley. Ward doesn't look great. The defense is definitely full of holes. This should be the Patriots game to win, Titans game to lose. This is a trap game a little bit, I think, for the Pats, but this is a very popular survivor pick. I think a lot of people are going to be on the Pats this week.
Yeah, for a really young team like the Patriots going on the road in a game that you should easily win, this is definitely one of those games that teams usually, well, not usually, but you might see them slip up a little, especially with the young team. But I think the Pats are going to go out and get the win. They can't lose this game.
Next preview, we got the Saints at the Bears. We're going to take Chicago. It's actually a decent survivor pick team as well. To have New Orleans go on the road, Chicago looks decent. I think this is a big trust spot for the Bears. People are going to kind of see now that they got their record over 500. They're like 3-2, I believe. This is an opportunity for them to win a game that they're also supposed to win.
Yeah, and I mean, if they lose this game, they fall back to 500, and then you travel to Baltimore, probably with Lamar Jackson back. You have to win this game.
I think Baltimore has that game circled as like, okay, we're getting right against the Bears. So the Bears have to win this game.
Yeah, the Bears have to win this Sunday because I don't think there's any way they're beating Baltimore the week after.
I definitely agree with that statement. All right, so we got the Dolphins at the Browns. Ironically enough, look at your line. I think the Browns are favored in this game by 2. Is that correct?
You know how bad you got to be an underdog against the Cleveland Browns? The Browns are minus 2.5, and I think they're going to win the game.
And not only that, but like the Dolphins have one of the worst rushing defenses in the league, and I think Quinshon Judkins fire him up and let him loose. That boy is about to eat this game.
Browns are going to learn from their mistakes last week. They're going to run the football heavy. They're not going to pass it 52 times like idiots.
It's a really tough game to like, it's hard to pick the Browns in any survivor game, especially when there's no buybacks. But I feel like if you're going to pick the Browns, this would be the week. You're going to be, I mean, what else could you pick the Browns? Like, it's so crazy. So bad. All right, next game, you got the Panthers at the Jets. Wow. This is a true coin flip game. The Jets, the Jets, Jets are winless, aren't they?
Yes, they are 0-6. They're the only team in the NFL that does not have a win.
So you're winning the first pick in the draft right now. Do the Jets win this game, Rob?
They kind of have to. This is one of their.
Carolina won a game against a good Cowboys team. All right. And they're at home. I think that be it as that they may, the Panthers should win this game. But I don't know if they're I guess it's a test to see if their maturity level is past a good win, a decent win, a big win for them. Can they go in and win a game they're supposed to win, and it's on the road?
Yeah, for sure. And if the Panthers win this game, they're 4-3. I didn't think they'd be above 500 after 7 games, so that would be huge if they could get that win. I mean, if you're the Jets, if you don't win this week, they might go 0-17.
Do you think it's like that?
This is one of their best chances.
Pull up the Jets schedule. Pull up the Jets schedule. Let's see if we can find a win. Pull it up. Pull up the rest of the year.
They host Carolina, then they're at Cincinnati.
Okay, so I like Cincinnati in that, which we said already.
Then they get a bye week.
Okay, so they can't lose that game.
And then they host the Browns. That's another winnable game.
Yes.
Then they're in New England on a Thursday night.
Okay.
Those division games are always tricky, so you never know what could happen there. But it's probably going to be the Pats winning. Then they're in Baltimore. They're probably going to lose by 35. Then they host the Falcons. It's probably a loss. Then they host the Dolphins.
That's a win. That could be a win.
Then they're in Jacksonville. It's probably
Especially
a
if the
loss.
Dolphins get rid of Waddle and they send up there with like no McDaniels, no Waddle, and a complete rebuild is the Jets' best hope. Who's after the Jets? Would you just say?
After the Dolphins,
Yeah, I'm sorry. After the Dolphins,
Jaguars in Jacksonville.
Jags at home.
In Jacksonville.
Oh, it's a loss.
Probably a loss. At New Orleans.
Ugh.
It's a winnable game, but on the road, probably going
New
to
Orleans.
lead.
I'm taking New Orleans.
Then they host the Pats. Again, those division games are tricky. And then they're in
loss.
Buffalo to end the year. That's a loss.
Yeah, bro. I could see a win against the Browns, the Dolphins, and maybe New England.
Yeah,
So maybe 3 wins.
maybe.
Oof.
I mean, they're not winning. They're not winning more than 3 games.
Maybe the Saints, I guess. Maybe the Saints if you really want to be an optimist. But yeah, the Jets, you're in trouble, man. You're in trouble, Gene.
The Jets are having a historic season, not in a good way, but they're still out there breaking records, and they could be the first team to ever go 0-17.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. They just might be the ultimate fade this year. It's crazy. After that game, we got the Eagles at the Vikings. Not an easy game for the Eagles to bounce back to, and they're on the road. The Eagles should definitely win this game. They're the better team. They got to get right. They got to figure out. Sirianni's got to see what he wants to do and how to get A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and all of them. It's just really weird because the Eagles have built this entire offense around Dallas Goedert. Not Saquon, not AJ, not Smith. Dallas Goedert is their creme de la creme. He's the centerpiece of the offense. He's the main man. I mean, at least that's what the numbers show right now. And I'm curious to see if that's going to be a trend that continues because he's like one of the top tight ends in the league. Dallas Goedert's absolutely balling, getting schemed up. 20 targets last couple of games. Just unbelievable how much Dallas Goedert is really involved into the flow of that game. I like the Eagles.
Yeah, I got the Eagles. They can't lose another one.
I mean, Jordan Mason's got to do his thing. They got Jefferson. It's got to be a special game. No JJ McCarthy still, right?
No.
So it's going to be a Wentz against the Eagles.
It's going to be a tough game.
Carson Wentz against the Eagles, old school storyline, the team that shelled him out for Nick Foles.
Yeah. Could you imagine the storyline? Could you imagine the storyline if the Eagles lose? That'd be 3 losses in a row.
Yeah. And it would be against, at the hand of Carson Wentz for a little revenge. What's the line on that game?
Vikings plus 2.5 at home.
It's crazy. Next game, Raiders at the Chiefs.
Chiefs are going to hammer them.
I think I got the Chiefs in this one. I got Chiefs in my survivor pick on this one too. 100%.
They're minus 11.5.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, maybe the Raiders backdoor cover or something like that. But the Chiefs, Rashee Rice back. First game, they get to feel where they're kind of back to being themselves. And they come off a decent win against the Lions. I really like them at home. Definitely a get right time for the Chiefs. And then you got the Giants at Broncos.
This is a tough game to pick, honestly.
This is going to be a fun game. The Broncos are heavily favored in this game, are they not?
Let's see where the line is at. Broncos minus 7.
That's what I'm saying. Broncos are minus 7. And I think I like that. Give me the G, man, all day on minus 7. I don't care if it's like the Broncos just put up 13 points against the Jets.
Yeah, the Broncos.
They don't look like this Sean Payton offensive juggernaut. Give me the Giants on this. I like the line. I could even see the Giants on an outright win on that plus money call. The Giants are just playing with momentum. Obviously, I know that, they're still down neighbors and whatnot, but I just love the way they're playing ball. I like the way that they're going to go in there with the underdog chip on their shoulder attitude. And I mean, hey, Cam Scatterbo, right up the middle. Just send him against those Broncos linemen and see what it looks like, and see if you can sit there and just continue to ride that hot hand. The way that they manhandled the Eagles, the way that the Giants D stopped the tush push over here trying to do all that. Like, let's go, G-Men. I'm telling you, I'm all over the G-Men this week.
I'm right there with you. You got the G-Men, I got the G-Men. That's
All
a
right,
tough
we're
game to
following.
call,
We're going
but
G-Men.
I got the G-Men.
You heard that, TJ? We're going G-Men.
Who would have
All
thought,
right.
man?
Then you got
We're
the Colts
halfway
at
through
the
the season and
Chargers.
we're riding with the Giants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who would have
You got
thought?
the Colts at the Chargers. This is a tough game. The Colts got to show up big. The Chargers have been playing small. It's kind of a coin toss game to me. If I'm picking it, I like the Chargers to get right on this game. Kamani Vidal looked good last week. They definitely had a chance to lose against the Dolphins, but they're home. The Colts, different from playing in a dome. You travel in. I know that Danny Dimes still isn't, I'm not crowning him yet, right? I think there's still a little bit of room to grow. I like the Chargers in this game. It's tough. I like them by a field goal.
I got the Chargers. This is a big game for the Colts. They're 5-1, but they haven't really beaten anyone. Their best
That's what I'm
win is
saying. It's
against,
kind of like a prove it to me game, right?
their best win is against the Broncos, but everybody knows that they should have lost that game. They only won because of that 15-yard penalty on the game-winning field goal, which gave them a second chance to kick. They ended up making it and winning, but they haven't played anyone. But if they can go on the road here and beat the Chargers, I think that would really show, like, yeah, the Colts are here. They can contend.
Yeah, I think it's a definitely show me game. Honestly, for both these teams, I'm gonna favor the Chargers on that one. We got the Commanders at the Cowboys. They're on the road in Dallas. I'm Dallas all the way. I saw the way that we beat them last year, and that was without even Pickens and Lamb. I think might have been banged up that game. I remember Cavante Turpin, housed one. I think our last game that we played him was on Thanksgiving, whatever it was. Watched the game with my pops. It was awesome to watch us beat them. I think we got another good shot to beat them again. They don't look great. They just lost to the Bears. We just lost to the Panthers. Shouldn't have. There's a chance we get CeeDee Lamb back. I know he's getting close. I don't care if we get CeeDee Lamb back. We're going to definitely give the Commanders all they can handle. And I hope you watch this game. I like the Cowboys. Let's go, boys. Give me Dallas all day.
Cowboys plus 1.5. Yeah, I think they're gonna go out and get the win.
I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I think everybody gets right against Dallas. I think if McLaurin plays, I think McLaurin and Daniels they're gonna have a great game. I think Bill eats. I'm not saying we're stopping them. I just think that we pull out a win. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
It's gonna be a very high scoring game. And if the Commanders lose this game, they're really gonna be kicking themselves for that loss. 2-3 nights ago now against the Bears. Because if you lose this game
100%.
against the
That fumble
Cowboys,
would be
you're under
haunting them all the
500.
way through. You're right. The Packers at the Cardinals. This is a hugely favored Packers team going into Arizona, who is they're reeling, man. They got Jacoby Brissett. We talked about that as a bright side, but they're on their like fourth running back, third and fourth string, third and fifth string, whatever it is. Marvin Harrison's in concussion protocol. You can't rely on your tight end the entire season, I guess. I mean, they're gonna have to. That's all they got. I don't like the Cardinals with this game at all. I like the Pack to go in there and just steamroll. Obviously, it's not like a super sexy take or anything, but there's only one McBride, and they got to figure out how to get other people involved. I know it was Zay Jones signing last week. I mean, whenever you're relying on Zay Jones to go out there and get you W's, that's pretty tough. You know?
Yeah. I got the Packers. Cardinals have lost 4 games in a row. I don't think they're gonna win anytime soon.
Let's talk about a good game here. We're at the end of the docket here. A couple left. We got the Falcons at the Niners. This is going to be a good game. Falcons are traveling. Okay. I think they're going to give the Niners plenty. Niners obviously lost Fred Warner. They're not healthy. They've been hammered up, and they just lost a tough game against the Bucs. Falcons look great. I think this is kind of, one team needs to rebound, one team looks tough, and I think it's going to make for a really good game. I can see this being a last-second game. I think the Falcons got a shot, man. I like the way the Falcons are playing ball. I think they could definitely beat the Niners. Niners got this easy schedule, and we see it working in their advantage, but there's still a real good chance to falter. With this game in particular, I do like is this still going to be Mac Jones?
I believe so.
Unless if Purdy comes back, I'm favoring them. Just because they're banged up, yeah.
Purdy is questionable.
Purdy's questionable?
Yeah.
Ugh. If they get Purdy, they still it does make it a little bit closer. I really liked what I saw from the Falcons and the way that they can go out there and play some bully ball, man. If they run that ball with Bijan and Algier, and then you complement with Pitts and London looks great. Yeah. I like the Falcons on the upset here. I'm feeling the upsets. Liking the upsets this week, dude. Whatever reason is going on. Give me the Falcons. Book it.
I got the Niners. I think they're going to come out. They're going to find a way to get a win. They need one.
That's the Sunday night game too. That's dope.
Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup on Sunday night for sure. But
all right, we get 2 Monday night games. We already talked about it. Bucks at the Lions. Everybody and their mom is saying the Bucks are going to lose.
I agree.
You think the Bucks got any juice? You think they got some life? You believe in Baker?
I mean, if they win, it's going to be because Baker did something miraculous. And if they win, Baker's going to be the massive favorite.
So the Bucks win because what's the storyline? What's the headline? Baker throws 4 tutties. Baker runs for 50. Baker, what is Baker doing?
He's throwing for 300 plus. He's running for at least 50. He's putting up like at least 4 total touchdowns. And he's going to score on the ground. He's definitely
so I like you. He's got 1 scrambled, 3 throwing, 300 plus, and 50 on rushing. Okay. I could see if Baker does something like that. That's a legitimate chance to win. I'll give that one to you, man. I think the Lions. I like the fight of the Bucks here. I think the Lions are just too good of a position. I think that they continue to hold court, and I think the Bucks probably make it a little bit closer. But I think the Lions win.
Yeah,
I can't quite talk myself into it. I'm rooting for the Bucks. Don't get me wrong, Jeff. Don't get me wrong, Tampa. Pulling for y'all. I hope you beat Detroit. And then, of course, the Texans at Seahawks Monday night. Kind of an ugly game. I don't know how you follow this up after Tampa, Detroit with those fireworks, even if they're beat up. The Texans, obviously, I think they come off the bye, right? And then they look good. I think they beat the Ravens, if I remember correctly, in Baltimore. Then went on a bye week. So here they come at Seattle. I like Seattle all day. I like 12. I like the way that they're going to push that. I like JSN. I like Cup. I could see them going 5-2. The Texans, they're going to have to get Woody Marks going. They're going to have to get it to Nico, and they're going to have to figure out something with Kirk. I just don't know how CJ Stroud, who struggled against good defenses, is supposed to go into Seattle and play good against the 12. I can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I got Seattle there, especially at home. I think the home crowd is going to play a big factor. Texans got 2 good wins. Well, they got 2 wins under their belt. I wouldn't say good ones. They dominated those games, but it was against the Titans and the battered Ravens. Seahawks have been looking good, man. That offense has been looking nice. I think they're
honestly, if you haven't had the Seahawks in Survivor, you could definitely get away with taking Seahawks against the Texans. I told you a little bit. If you really want to risk it in Survivor and take an ugly team, I say you take the Browns. They could definitely beat the Dolphins this week. I definitely like the Chiefs over the Raiders as a favorite pick of mine for Survivor. Obviously, they're favored. They're home. They get Rushy Rice back. You could give me Chiefs in Kingdom all day. I also do like the Patriots at Titans for a Survivor pick. Think that Drake May is going to go out and prove it this week. We talked about the little 3-pack of some picks. We do have the Icy Hot Bowl tonight, guys. We have live football. Joe Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers. Throw it back to 2015, 2014, whatever it is. Same two quarterbacks still getting it done. I think that was Cam Hayward who called it the Icy Hot Bowl. It's going to be hilarious. Smelling like Ben Gay and a bunch of Tiger Bomb. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Like I said, man, I'm actually looking forward to tonight's game and seeing what the old dogs got in them.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun one. I'm just hoping the Steelers are going to be able to get the win. I'll be watching it at work. It's going to be a tough one, man. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, you guys got your hands full. I know Dustino had the Bengals points. I'm on the Bengals tonight. I think they got a chance to outright win and just show you why football is just so great. We got some baseball tonight, right? We get 2 games.
We got 2 games tonight.
I think we get a bullpen game again. I think, are we getting another bullpen game out of Milwaukee?
Another one? I mean, Milwaukee's dead in the water. This team's done.
It's unbelievable, bro. Like, how are you going to throw that against Glasnow and you're already down 2-0?
They got Jose Quintana.
Oh, no, they get Quintana. Then it must be the other series that's got a bullpen game. I saw maybe Seattle or somebody's going with it. But you get 2 games tonight. We got football. It's an exciting night in sports. Let's hope for some magic. We just want you to make some money. Let's go Bengals, huh? Sorry, everyone's going to be fading on the Steelers. Let's make some money. Let's go Bengals. We got another preview that we'll be doing on Tuesday. TJ will be back in line. Rob will be here with us again, always producing. Appreciate you filling in. I don't have anything else to say other than the Cowboys are going to beat the Commanders. You got any notes to end on?
Steelers are going to win. I'll take the Bengals points. Steelers by a field goal.
Bengals points, Steelers by a field goal. There you have it from a very loyal Pittsburgh Steelers fan who believes that PFF rankings are an absolute sham. Do you want to talk about this? We were going to mention it. TG started talking about us, about the Survivor whenever he jumped in. Go ahead. This is your opportunity because you're very passionate.
It just doesn't make any sense, bro. I mean, you mentioned it earlier.
It's power football. It's pro football index, focus. Right? It's pro football rankings.
Yeah. So they grade the players after every performance. I don't care what you are watching on the film. You cannot tell me that Kenneth Walker, with 10 carries for 34 yards, had a better game than Bijan Robinson, who just put up 240 and a touchdown.
I don't care how many blocks he caught, right? Like,
it does not matter what the film is saying. You can't justify saying that Kenneth Walker had a better game than Bijan Robinson. It just doesn't make sense. Myles Garrett, if you watched the Steelers-Browns game the other day, Myles Garrett did absolutely nothing. And they said the reason why he
shut him down, right? You had Garrett on lock.
He was getting shut down by Broderick Jones. Like, come on, man.
And who's Broderick Jones? Go ahead and explain to the public who Broderick Jones is.
He's one of our very not good offensive linemen. He's not terrible, but he's very inconsistent.
He's making a name for himself against Myles Garrett, one-on-one.
Yeah, but one-on-one with Myles Garrett, and he was getting it done. By the way, Broderick Jones, his grade for the game was like a 51. And
what was Myles Garrett's?
They gave him like an 89.8 or some shit. He had a higher grade than TJ Watt. He had like 6 tackles, a half a sack, a couple pass breakups. But Myles Garrett with like 2 tackles, no sacks, and 1 pressure gets an 89.8.
So what is it about the Pro Football Index? Like, they're supposed to be giving us the bird's eye view on the full performance, okay? It's supposed to be telling you about tackles, blocks, missed assignments, completion of job, whatever it is, right? Like all of that. I mean, that's all it is, right? It's just a rating system, but like it's so highly respected, and they predicate people's contracts off of these numbers. Is this not true?
Well, did you know that PFF is based out of Ohio, which I think explains a lot.
You did mention
And
that earlier in the chat. So you got a bunch of people from Ohio. Well, that's Canton, right? So I mean, I'm guessing.
you would,
It's
yeah, I
like,
would assume so.
yeah, and like a Hall of Fame, Stat Central, whatever.
Yeah.
But you got a bunch of people from Ohio grading everybody in the entire NFL on their own system. All right. So we got to figure out how they like give people points and take away, right?
I mean, I don't know, man. If you watch the video for the explanation, they said that Garrett had a huge game because he still did things well, but the Steelers just took him out of the game plan, which means that he didn't do anything. But you gave him an 89.
Sounds like he was negated completely, is what it sounds like.
It doesn't matter why he was negated. The only thing that matters is that he was negated. So therefore,
right, exactly. Even if you're over here 5 yards behind the line, still pushing somebody, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know you feel very passionate about this. You've been very upset all week.
Yeah. And then I was already upset about the Myles Garrett one. And then I saw the Bijan Robinson and Kenneth Walker one. And I was like, yeah, this system is just completely broken.
When that one was shown to me, I thought that was definitely a little bit skewed. And I want like some real explanation from some real NFL statisticians, like statisticians like over here, explaining to me how Bijan Robinson is rated so much lower than a Kenneth Walker, because that makes absolutely no sense. Not just that, but like the value of what you did, how you did it, 81-yard run, you win the game. Just unbelievable, dude. Well, that's it. Prop Stars out, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, blast us out. We got a lot of passion, a lot of love, a lot of opinions, man. Appreciate you. We'll see you on Tuesday. Peace.
Peace out, guys.